It's here 6-3, 6-4.
It started with a single announcement, one line of news that spread across the tennis world faster than anyone could have predicted. Venus Williams was coming back to doubles, and she wasn't coming back alone. Her partner, a 20-year-old from the Philippines named Venus-Eala, a player most of the world had barely heard of just weeks earlier. Together, they had just been handed a wild card into the women's doubles draw at the Wimbledon DC Open, a WTA 500 tournament in Washington. And within hours, it was the biggest storyline in tennis. Social media exploded within minutes. Fans from Manila to Miami were sharing the news, tagging each other, refusing to believe it was real until they saw it confirmed by the tournament itself. For casual fans, it looked like a fun pairing. But for anyone who had followed the sport closely over the past month, this news carried a much deeper weight. This wasn't a random wild card handed out for publicity. This was a second chapter in a story that everyone thought had already ended. But to understand why this moment sent shockwaves through the sport, you have to go back. Back to the grass courts of Germany. Back to where this improbable partnership was born. It was the Bad Homburg Open, one of the last tune-up tournaments before Wimbledon. A place where legends prepare and unknowns hope for a miracle. Nobody expected what was about to happen there. Venus Williams, 7-time Grand Slam singles champion, 14-time Grand Slam doubles champion alongside her sister Serena, decided to take a chance on a rising star from Manila who had idolized her for years. For Alex, it wasn't just a tournament. It was a childhood dream stepping onto the court beside her. And then, they won. Straight sets, 6-3, 6-4, over Alexandra Osborne and Catherine Harrison. Confident, composed, like they had played together for years, not days. The run ended in the quarterfinals, a loss to Olivia Nichols and Teresa Mihalikova. On paper, it looked like the end of the story. But then Venus did something that changed everything. She posted on Instagram. Simple words, but powerful ones. She called it the best ride, the best tournament, and she called Alex the best partner. Coming from one of the greatest to ever hold a racket, those words weren't just kind. They were a verdict, a seal of respect that money and rankings could never buy. Everyone assumed that was it. A beautiful, one-time moment. Because Venus was expected to reunite with Serena for Wimbledon doubles, and Alex had her own mountain to climb. The biggest tournament of her career was waiting. And nobody, not even her biggest supporters, could have predicted what she was about to do. Wimbledon began, and Venus-Eala walked onto the grass with something to prove. Round 3. She faced former champion IGA Świątek, the kind of match that ends careers before they start or launches them into legend. Alex won, a stunning, seismic upset that sent her name across every headline in tennis. She kept going. Round 4, a milestone no Filipino player had ever reached in the history of the sport. She was no longer just a promising name. She was a threat. Her run finally ended in a brutal 3-set battle against Jasmine Wolfova, but by then, the loss didn't matter. The story had already changed. She wasn't the underdog anymore. She was a contender. And in the middle of all that chaos, a reporter asked Venus Williams a question. Would she ever play with Alex again? Her answer left no room for doubt. Yes, without hesitation. If the chance ever came. Nobody knew how soon that chance would arrive. Because within days, the wild card was announced. Washington, the Wimbledon DC Open. Venus Williams and Venus-Eala reunited, walking back onto the court together. This time on hard courts, this time with the entire tennis world watching. But here is where the real tension begins. Because this reunion isn't a guaranteed fairy tale. It's a collision course with danger. The doubles draw in Washington isn't soft. The top seeds, Saya Irani and Nicole Melika-Martinez, are proven Grand Slam-level competitors. Beating Osborne and Harrison on grass is one thing. Surviving elite hard-court doubles specialists is another animal entirely. And there's another problem. A ticking clock hidden inside Alex's own schedule. She isn't only playing doubles in Washington. She's also competing in singles. That means physically grueling matches, back-to-back, with almost no time to recover. One tournament, 2 draws, and a body that has to survive both. Imagine the logistics of it. A singles match in the afternoon heat, followed by a doubles match just hours later against a team that has already won Grand Slam titles together. No easy days. No time to simply coast through a round. Every single match becomes a test of endurance as much as skill, and one bad step, one missed recovery window, could threaten both of her campaigns at once. It's the kind of pressure that breaks players. But 2026 has shown, again and again, that Venus-Eala doesn't break under pressure. She thrives in it. She won the biggest title of her career this year at the Birmingham WTA 125 event. She reached the semifinals in Berlin. And then she delivered the Wimbledon run that redefined her career. Now she steps into the hard-court season carrying all of that momentum and all of that expectation into a tournament that could set the tone for the biggest stage still ahead of her, the US Open. This is where the stakes rise even higher. Washington isn't just another stop. It's the bridge between her grass-court breakthrough and the hardest test of her season. Every match here will force her to adjust to faster conditions, sharper opponents, and heavier expectations, all before she steps into what will only be the second Grand Slam main draw appearance of her career. And through all of it, she has Venus Williams standing beside her. Think about what that actually means. A woman who completed a career Grand Slam in doubles, who has 3 Olympic gold medals, who has spent decades battling legends across every generation of the sport. That kind of experience doesn't show up in a stat sheet. It shows up in a whispered word between points, a calm presence in a tiebreak, a kind of mentorship that almost no young player ever gets a chance to receive. For Filipino fans, this story has grown into something far bigger than tennis. It has become a symbol, proof that a player from the Philippines can stand on the same court as an equal beside one of the greatest champions the sport has ever produced. Every win Alex earns now carries the hopes of an entire nation watching her climb. And that is exactly why Venus's endorsement means so much. It isn't charity. It isn't sentiment. Venus Williams does not hand out her trust lightly, not after a legendary career built on excellence. When she chose to come back, to play again, to praise Alex publicly a second time, she was telling the entire sport something unmistakable. This is not a rising talent anymore. This is a player who belongs. Nobody can promise what happens next. Maybe the pairing shocks the top seeds. Maybe the physical toll of playing both singles and doubles becomes too much. Tennis rarely gives you a script, and this tournament could go in either direction. But one thing is already certain. When Venus Williams and Venus-Eala step onto that court together in Washington, the entire tennis world will stop and watch. Because this isn't just a doubles match. It's a story about legacy meeting the future. About one legend choosing to pass the torch, one match at a time. And for Venus-Eala, this is only the beginning of a chapter that is still being written.